Good morning, professional photographers of Idaho and beyond.
Beyond.
Woo, Friday! I'm Bob Ryder.
And I'm Larry Fry. Good morning.
Yeah, and we're your hosts for today's edition of PPI Live.
Yeah.
And man, we've got a cool episode. I say that every week because
Right.
I'm so passionate about so many of these topics.
We have a lot of cool episodes.
We do. Like,
even when we think they're not going to be cool, they're cool.
they turn out pretty well,
yeah,
as long as you don't mind the chit chat along the way, because that's us.
Yeah.
So listen, it's Friday next week.
We have a huge.
It's our fall retreat.
Yeah. Yep.
Can they still sign up?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's still room. Not much, but some. So
Okay.
make sure. So listen, if you go out to the event page on the website, and there's explicit instructions on how to make reservations at the lodge we're going to stay at, and
Teton Peaks Resort.
Exactly, and you have to call them. If you have to leave a voicemail, they will call you back. There are still some rooms available. I'm pulling my trailer. I know you pulling your trailer. So
Yep,
there's.
we're
I
going
know.
over there.
I think there's RV sites available still. Also, still room. So join us. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty neat. We are gonna be out in Teutonia.
Yes.
At the Teton Peaks Resort. We've got Craig Lemire coming over.
Yep.
Going to be giving a presentation on lighting with models and horses. We've got Carrie Grant.
Carrie Grant. Kim's going to do some astrophotography. And listen,
Live horses.
check it out. The smoke has reduced to nothing almost. So you guys are in for a treat. We're headed into fall over there. I know that personally from experience because I was over there 2 weeks ago. So their trees are starting to turn. So
It was 35 degrees in my backyard this morning.
Yeah.
Here in Meridian.
Dude,
and
fall.
my whole grass backyard was frosted.
When I took the garbage out this morning, fall is here.
Fall is here.
Yeah,
It has arrived.
Yeah, it has arrived. So that was cool.
We just refilled our bird feeder.
So, well, that's good. That's
Well,
good.
that's
Yeah.
got to feed those little critters through the.
So, hop on out to the website, go to the events page.
Tell them the website, Larry.
ppvidaho.com. Get yourself registered and come on out and enjoy some. We're going to have, this is not, I would say it's not quite as high key as convention. It's going to be pretty low key, but the big deal is the camaraderie and the
So
just spending
as
time
in group campfire.
Yeah.
As in, we're providing a really fun campfire dinner Friday evening.
Yep.
We're providing
A breakfast on Saturday.
Breakfast on Saturday morning, and
Yep.
if you know Adrian Alvey, he doesn't do anything small in that regard. Jen Alvey's our president, and she. Good grief.
She commandeered Adrian.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the de facto standard.
Yep.
And we're so glad for it because he does such a great job with the food. Of course, they own Save the Day Seasonings. I'll give them a little shout out here because we use their product and they always come out.
So the only thing you got to take care of is you got to take care of lunch and dinner on Saturday, and then whatever you want to do on Sunday.
Yep.
And we're free to go. So Teutonia and Driggs is all over there. I'm taking my RV, so I'm going to have food.
Taking my travel trailer, we're packing food.
I'm sure everybody's going to be
looking forward to some time.
Bring a lawn chair, though. There are seats over there. There are picnic tables.
Yeah,
and
but you know what?
chairs.
We're going to be all over that property out there and all over the area.
And yeah, exactly. So we're going to, who knows where we're going to end up shooting because we're photographers and we like to shoot wherever we want to, right? So bring a chair. Not going to hurt you, and you'll have a seat. That's about it, except for we're going to have a good time. So.
Yeah. I may have just shut the music off.
Awesome. So I was talking over music?
Yeah, maybe.
All right. That's
maybe
fine.
Maybe it was supposed to, the audio was supposed to follow the video, but it kind of looked like it wasn't.
It doesn't matter.
I used to have the monitor in front. We changed that.
I'm pretty sure
Just
you guys
off here
could
to
hear
the
me
side.
anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because
that's the plan.
I am.
So our conversation today, well, let's back up just a little bit. ppofidaho.com.
Event page,
and they can
fall
sign
retreat.
up.
Yep.
And there
And,
isn't much time left. Don't wait until Wednesday to do this.
Yeah, listen, if you wait till Wednesday, probably no go. They are, so I talked to those guys over there a week ago. Actually, it was a little more now, so a week and a half ago. And they do have other people staying at the resort. They're open for business as normal, but there are rooms left. So make sure you hit them up.
Rooms, dry camping sites, full hookup sites. We're going to be in a full hookup site.
Yeah,
my
me
wife
too.
is joining me for the trip. I'm super excited about that.
I bought a hose thingy. Like it looks like a slinky. It holds your crap hose.
You bought a hose?
Yeah. No, I got a hose. I didn't have the little holder thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
For like under the back of your travel trailer or something?
No, from the trailer to dump.
Oh, like a stand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got one of those.
Yeah. I know you do, and I was like, I wonder if I have one. I usually boondock. So
you got to support that thing so you don't have low points where stuff settles. Because
Yeah. When stuff settles.
Not
a good idea. Not a good idea.
Well, let's this is RV Tips with Baudelaire. All right. So today's conversation, and I'm going to give. I love to relate our conversations to what's happened in my life at that moment. So our conversation today, I'm just going to pop back in here to the preview. Why is that not previewing? There it is. Stay in the game. This conversation, and I know we've mentioned it before, this is all about being there when your client's ready to hire you. And it's all about staying top of mind.
Yeah, it's so relevant. It's incredible how follow-up is.
So I want to tell you how I got to this week.
All right.
As a main topic, I was having a conversation with my almost 19-year-old son. He's a college student. And his girlfriend interviewed for a job about a month, maybe 5 weeks ago, and didn't hear anything back. But they told her at the job, we will contact you either way. And they didn't. Or that's what she's perceived. But she feels that it's been too long to reach out and call them. And I said, hogwash. She absolutely needs to reach out and follow up. And it's so easy when you reach out to that person, instead of playing the blame game, you said you were going to call me and you didn't call me. Say something like, hey, I'm circling back. I think I missed your call.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to take that on yourself. It's
yeah, I'd never. I mean, why would you place the blame on them ever?
Right. Hey, I think we missed our connection. However you want that to look.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in this job, and she is really interested in this job. I said she has to contact them. So I employ people. I've employed people for close to the last 20 years, both in my retail store and in my studio business. And if I interview somebody and tell them I'm going to contact them, and then they go away, and I get busy with other stuff because life, right?
Yep.
I'm going to do that, but I'm going to move that to my I got to do that shelf or whatever that back burner looks like. And this person calls me and says, hey, I really enjoyed that interview. I was expecting to hear from you, and I didn't. Maybe I missed that connection. I'm still really interested in that job.
Mm-hmm.
As an employer, I'm going to be like, this is the person I need to hire.
Yeah.
This is the person who's got the wherewithal to follow up with me. They're persistent enough. I mean, don't be a jerk about it. You're not spamming them with emails every other day. You wait an appropriate amount of time, what maybe feels too long. Get back in the game. It's not too late. I guess that's really, I could have named this episode Not Too Late, or what was the other one that we were talking about? I put you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You've got to stay present, relevant.
We had a conversation about this just a short while ago, but I got a lot going on, so I don't really call it the. But anyway.
Yeah, you've been on Hell Week.
Yeah. Anyway, so let me tell you about how I got my first job.
I want to hear about it.
Yeah. So this dives into the persistence situation,
Mm-hmm.
and what I did. Now you got to remember this is way back when, and what I did is the equivalent of following up on that email, is the equivalent of following up on that phone call. So it was in a frozen food factory, frozen pea plant to be exact, and I literally packed a lunch every day and went down and sat on the bench. I applied there, and the guy said, we're full. Thanks for playing. We'll keep you in mind.
All of the things,
all of the above,
all the brush offs.
And I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I was probably, I was young. 15, 16 years old at the time.
Okay.
And I packed myself a sandwich and a drink and went down there and sat on the bench at 6 o'clock. It was 24/7 operation. Shift change was at 6 o'clock. I was down there at 5:30. Walked out, sat on the bench, and the hiring manager came out every day to say hi to people and whatever. He saw me sitting on that bench every single day. And it took a while. I don't remember how long. I don't think it was like a huge amount of time, like a month, but it took about 2 or 3 weeks. And I literally got in on like the last half of the season. The season was only like 8 weeks long, but you made some pretty good money. And sure enough.
Especially for a kid, right?
Yeah. And finally, one of the kiddos didn't show up, and I was there with my lunch. So it's persistence like that, and to follow up and keep. I guess it's not the same because I was there physically, but if you're there in their mind mentally, it's almost like you're there physically.
Right.
So you gotta call back. You gotta do that stuff.
So I've had 2. So we send a very simple handwritten thank you card. It's not custom stationery. It's nice. It's something we ordered intentionally. It says thank you on the front. It's our kind of black and white monochromatic colors that we use in our branding, and it's just a handwritten thank you note. I literally make an entry in Trello on the card after I've done the work and they've paid and the work's been delivered. I make a note, I tag my wife in it and quote what I want her to write in the card, and she signs it Bob and Bry. And so we sent probably a half a dozen of those a week or 2 ago. They're kind of always ongoing. 2 of those people reached out to me this week. One with more work.
Yeah, which is the point.
One with more work.
Yep.
It was, I got your card today. I just wanted to say thanks for, remembering us that way. Oh, and by the way, Nick quit, and I need to send a new person over. It was Catalyst. I love that. The other one was just, hey, thanks for the card, man. I got your note.
Yeah.
It was meaningful, and so I don't do that as a, I don't want to say that as rote because it's programmed in our system, but every one of those cards is personal to me and to them.
Yeah, and again, that sticks. And Dennis has talked about this a lot. A handwritten note, thank you note, sticks in the client's mind a lot. So if you aren't, we're kind of getting off topic here, but this
is all relevant.
It's relevant to the fact that you need to be persistent.
You got to stay in the game.
You got to stay in the game. And if you don't stay in the game by something like this, then you're missing out.
So I'm rereading this book. I think Sam Marvin on his 7-Figure Photographer did this as a book of the month deal maybe last year.
Yep.
It's a really good book, and I'm rereading it. And in this one chapter, so it's Book Yourself Solid. The author is Michael Port.
Yep.
And I think we just found this on Amazon. I buy most of these books used because I'm cheap that way. And but it's a good tip.
You can go to the library and check them out.
You can buy a $25 book or you can buy a $6 book.
Yeah, same book.
It's going to read the same way.
Yeah.
So I got to the end of this chapter, and all of this is relevant in my mind, the staying in the game and staying in touch with the consumer. So he's got 7 steps. 7 steps in his strategy for booking yourself solid, but it pertains to this staying in the game. So here they are. Networking, number 1.
Yep.
I do a lot of that.
Yep.
Okay. Networking doesn't have to look like I'm going to business networking events. Networking can be I'm at my kid's soccer game and I'm talking about what I do. Networking. If you have dancers, if you have ball players, if you have wrestlers, if you have whatever, maybe you don't have kids, maybe you've got a bridge club, maybe you've got, what are some of the other ththings?
I marshaled at a golf tournament.
Right.
That's
networking.
Yeah.
And golfing.
Yeah, right? I mean, I had a ball.
Anytime you can mix the two of those.
So, and it's what a various, there's a whole bunch of venues and ways to network. Our retreat is a network. It's with other professionals, but it's a network because if I didn't know Bob Ryder right now, and we didn't meet, 3-4 years ago at Albion, I wouldn't be able to steer clients his way when they come for a headshot. Same when he wants his kidney jiggled, I drive the truck and it shakes around on the road.
Oh my gosh, there's a story there from Wendover, Utah.
But anyway, networking is important, and it doesn't matter if it's your peers or who it's with or how you do it. Yeah. And if you, again,
it doesn't matter what environment you're doing that in. an opportunity. I keep business cards in my pocket. A lot of folks are like,
time.
oh, business cards are dead. I use this thing in my phone. I'm like, if you have to whip out your phone to just pass something off, the moment is lost.
Yeah.
There's a time for it. I have that also.
Well, and everybody.
When everybody's on their phone and I can just go, hey, scan this with your camera, that's easy. But if I just want to drop my name, or I'm like, hey, you know, they're like, hey, we should do lunch or something. Here's my card.
Here's a idea for you there. So if you have somebody scan that thing with their camera, now if they're very interested, they're going to keep that to the forefront, right?
Yeah.
How much stuff does your camera have on it?
Tons of crap.
Exactly. So your scannable debris, whatever it is that you're trying to get them to scan, will probably get lost. A card, they're going to have to pick it up and throw it away.
Yeah, they got to do something with it, right?
Yeah. So.
My cards, I'd like to believe that my cards are of substantial enough quality.
They're nice.
People touch them. They're tactile. They're like, this is a really nice
They started
card.
a really
They
good
have
fire.
a hard time throwing that away. If you're doing that at home, like micro perf, don't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's gone with
Yeah.
the 90s. So networking is our first one, right?
Yep.
I went to lunch yesterday with a guy I met at the Idaho Veterans Chamber of Commerce. We have some things in common. And he doesn't need me and I don't need him service-wise. We went to lunch yesterday. Shared a meal. It was great. Over at Big Daddy's on Cherry. Have we done that?
No.
We need to do that.
Not Big Daddy's.
Yeah. That's my go-to because it's quiet. The waitress is super, super nice.
We've been there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we have.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's networking, right?
Yeah.
That's just networking one-on-one.
Yeah.
I love the one-on-one. If I had more time, I would do more of it. So number 2, direct outreach.
Yep.
Hi, Joe Bob. This is Bob, right?
Billy Bob.
Direct outreach, and sometimes direct outreach can seem hard. It seems like a cold call. And cold calling sucks. Let's call that what it is. Cold calling is you're calling somebody you've never spoken with before to tell them who you are. And that sucks, right?
Yep.
You deal with that. We all deal with that incoming on our phones all the time. By the way, your auto warranties on that old truck of yours.
I'll renew that
Okay.
as soon as I can.
But that's direct outreach, okay? That also might be you're somewhere and you see somebody cross the store. You're in the market. You're picking up vegetables. Somebody that you need to know, somebody that you know need to know is picking up vegetables. Sidle over there and pick up the same vegetable they're looking at and be like, these look pretty good today.
Yeah. Sure wish I could photograph these.
Yeah. Next to your head. I don't know. So that's direct outreach. Mm-hmm. Referral.
And that's huge. I mean, all 99% of my wedding business when I was doing weddings was referrals.
Referrals are huge.
I got very few, except for when I started out. So when the very first start out time when I was a shoot and burner, I did it, yes. That was all just picking up.
It's a good way to learn the camera.
It's a good way to learn what not to do.
Yeah, well, and that's illustrative, right?
Yeah. So referrals are most important because we'll look at social media.
Yeah.
That it's exactly what social media is a referral network.
And for me, I don't mind asking a very pleased customer if they'd give me a referral.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what does that look like? That might look like, hey, would you mind just give me a review on Google? Would you mind? So that's, I don't know, is that in here? No, it isn't. So I'm going to call that a referral.
Yeah.
If I ask my very satisfied client to give me a positive review online and they do that, that's win-win for me, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Or, as often is the case, and we have found this, that people tend to gravitate to people in their circle. So if I've got a CEO client of a company that I enjoy working for, his peers are his counterparts in other companies, right? Mm-hmm. Are those CEOs in other companies. And I might say, hey, would you mind? I've been really trying to reach into such and such a company, and I know you're friends with them. Would you mind just dropping my name for him? Can I give you an extra business card that you might drop with him next time you're playing golf or whatever? Everything okay?
So far, just checking.
Good. And you've got a lot going on. So if you're here watching, and I want to know who you are, and I know you're here watching because I can see that you're there. I just can't see who you are. Drop a comment here. I've got the comments up, and they're bigger, so we could actually maybe read them.
Actually see
and
it,
then
yeah.
I have a new thing that we're going to be hopefully doing is adding some of the comments right to our feed.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I just ran out of time this week.
Yeah, that's all right.
So the fourth thing is keep in touch.
And that's the crux of most of this episode.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah. So we've already outlined, we're not going to beat a dead horse or beat it to death, but if you don't keep in touch, a good example for me is, I don't know, a couple of months ago, 6 months, 8 months ago, gal called me about doing her wedding, and I said, I'm not in that game anymore, and plus I'm going to be in Montana, so I'm out. But I referred her to another photographer, so that's all good. And I said, hey, since you're going to have, if you guys went wall art, and I know this gal pretty well, I've known her for quite a while, and I said, how about if you have some Uncle Joe take the pictures or whoever that you want, and if you want wall art, let's go do a bridal session. Explain that whole thing to her, and she go, oh yeah, let's do that. Now, bear in mind this is 6-8 months ago. Okay?
Yeah.
I know that she's getting married in October, so I reached out a couple days ago, just say, hey Becca, don't forget it. Let's get together and talk about this. And she literally answered back and said, I'm so glad you reminded me.
Oh my gosh,
so,
right?
It's like
all the way back to this conversation and having with my kid.
Yeah.
It's something she wants to do.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. So they, people get busy. They forget, or they really want to do it and they just forget because they get busy.
I have a major client who is so bad at communicating, but their work is so good and she's so nice. This is a client I want to keep. We've talked pumpkin plan in the past where you weed out those difficult to deal with clients. She's not easy to deal with, but not because she's cranky or cantankerous. She's just swamped all the time. Like she lives in that crisis zone. So I have to literally try and hit her on a moment where she's got a flat line, like it's like peak, 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 flat line, peak, 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 peak. I got to try and find that flat line.
Yep.
So it's emails and texts and phone calls, and occasionally we connect and book stuff. It's good. And she counts on me, and sometimes, listen folks, it's okay to ask for permission to follow up. And they're going to give it to you. And they're going to give it to you like, please do.
Yeah, so especially if they count on that, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Like there's people out there that are so busy, they're like, I really want to do this, but I'm at a place where I can't either jot it down on my calendar or I flat don't have time. Yeah, I'm going to count on you to remind me.
Yeah.
So it's important to, again, ask for that permission. You can.
And put it into your vocabulary in such a way that it goes a lot like this. Hey, if it's okay with you, I'm going to follow up in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to follow up in a month. I've got a gal, we're going to follow up this week. I got busy. I will today drop her a quick email and say, look, I hope things are better. I will probably go by her office next week because she's another gal she manages this entire office. And anyway, keeping in touch.
Yeah.
So keeping in touch can be a lot like you follow them on social media and you like and comment on their post about their kid in their Halloween costume. I mention it because Halloween's coming right up.
Yeah.
Right? Hey, that costume's fantastic. Hey, did you make that? Great dress. It's all of those things. Who's here? Look, Quita's here. She says, howdy, boys. And my wife. My wife is watching. There's my wife there. So
speaking of Halloween, for any of those out there watching, I'm probably going to do a little Halloween shoot.
Woo. Woo.
Yeah.
Fun for you.
Should be good.
Yep. So keeping in touch can be as simple as being engaged with their social media.
Yeah.
It could be as simple as sending a thank you card or just sending a note card that says, you crossed my mind today, just want to let you know. And it comes in the mail and it's tangible.
Or a text.
Or a text.
Yeah. Texts are, in my view, texts are immediate.
Well,
they're not an email that can get lost. Yeah, and
certainly.
So
I mentioned this briefly. I was just reading a report. There's this whole 20s and 30s generation. Many of them don't even use email.
Yeah.
Or they use it, but they loathe it.
Well,
they operate by text message.
Or they are like me, and I have an email that I give out to people when I don't ever want to hear
garbage
them.
email.
Yeah.
So that's keeping in touch, and you know what? So that is really the keep in touch. That pin is really the post on which staying in the game is meant to rest on.
Yep.
It's just, that's the name of the game. And there's so many ways to do it, but it doesn't always have to be a big monumental official, I am having a business conversation with this person. It's just about staying in their mind, right?
Yeah.
This is super important. The next one, which is gonna not fly with some of you and go well with some of us extroverts, but speaking. If you have an opportunity, so I'm involved in the Meridian Chamber. We have leads groups, which is each of the leads groups is a group of people that is established to meet together, and we meet every other week on a Wednesday at noon. And our group is wonderful, and we're building relationships. I'm not there to sell myself to those people. I'm there to establish myself with those people. Do you understand the difference there? I'm not trying to sell myself to the people I sit with every 2 weeks. I don't have to be, I'm Bob Ryder and I'm a headshot photographer every 2 weeks. We've gotten away from that. I'm there to establish. I know that Eric, his wife, homeschools their children and belongs to a fairly well-established homeschool network, and she sits on their executive board. I know that about Eric's wife.
Yeah. And if you think about it, any type of relationship that you do outside of business, when you go out and speak to somebody about business, you should be establishing a relationship with that person, and that's just exactly what Bob did. So the speaking part, and you can't be. I'm an introvert,
yep.
But I'm not. I can talk to anybody, but I am an introvert. It's not hard for me to talk to people. But if I have my choice, I'm not going to go up to some cowboy and say, "Hey, dude, what's up?" I'll probably get knocked on my can. So I just don't.
You just have to make fun of his hat.
Once, yeah,
once.
Just once. So the speaking part is important, and you have to. You got to get into that conversation mode and carry it on. And then if you find out that little nugget of information, keep that locked away, because that's going to come back when you regurgitate this meeting at some point in time as a contact, and you're trying to remind him, hey, I'm just following up. Hey, by the way, how's your dad? How's he doing? And then boom, you're off into other things. They answer, and they might say, it was rough, Dad passed away. I apologize for that, and I'm sorry to hear for your loss.
But you know what? It's personal.
Exactly.
And good news or bad news, it's all part of this thing we call life.
Yeah.
And so let's come back to this for just a minute. So I was talking about the leads groups. There are several of them, 5 or 6 of them for the Meridian Chamber, and I can go to any of those groups and give a small presentation. And by presentation, I'm like 3 to 5 minutes. Do you think I could talk for 3 to 5 minutes?
Yes.
In front of a group of maybe 8 or 10 people?
Yes.
Yes. Every day of the week if I need to, if I had the time. So there's opportunities to speak to bridge clubs. There's opportunities to speak to Rotary. There's opportunities I could go on and on and on. Speaking doesn't mean that you're at the Boise Center and you're talking to 2,000 people.
Right.
I spoke at a convention this year.
It could be a small group of just 5 or 6 people in a circle, standing around, not even sitting.
And that's probably one of my favorite ways to do it. I use Trello to manage my business, and I have a peer group. We met in a coffee shop out in Boise, and week after week after week, and we just got talking about how I developed my Trello boards and how I'm incorporating those into my business. I'm speaking, right? They're listening to me talk about something that I have some level of knowledge on, right?
Yeah.
So that's speaking. Writing is another one.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing enough of this now. At one point, I was writing every week.
So you're
pre-blog era.
Well,
I was writing every week.
Just going to bring that up. That little tab on the top of your website that says blog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very important.
I'm going to be. I don't know if I want to say this out loud.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Writing. I need to do more of it, but I enjoy writing. I enjoy sharing my thoughts in a lot of different ways, and writing might be a good strategy for that. So you know what I think the coolest thing is? I don't want to have a blog of my own, but I wouldn't mind guest writing on somebody else's blog.
See, that's scary. I would rather do my own than somebody else's.
I would rather write a piece.
I don't mind
that I can send that same thing to 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 other bloggers, and they're grateful for the content, and they're going to point to me, and guess what that does for me?
Yeah.
Because they're pointing to me, that helps my SEO.
Yeah.
Right?
I get that whole thing. I have a. That's an interesting. I'm gonna have to cipher on this one for a while, but I really think that I could.
It's ponderous, isn't it?
It is. I think it, and you're 100% correct. If you do that, again, we'll go back to the social media thing and the networking business. That's what do you think you're doing there? So you're doing both of those things. But I still think I would rather put out my own thoughts for my own stuff on my own website than put out my own thoughts about my own stuff on somebody else's. I'll think about that one. That's a good. Crap, I wasn't going to think about anything today.
You know, you can think about it while you're driving next week.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Are we
do you
gonna
have radios?
Yeah, I do.
Two ways?
Mm-hmm.
That would be good.
Wait. Bob, you're running off the road. Yeah.
I'm not the one that runs off the road. He's the one that finds creative places to drive.
Yeah.
So writing leads us to web.
Now you can share your story.
Okay. I can share my story?
Yeah, your thing you were going to say this.
Oh, okay. Well, let's back this down. So, there's a couple of people here that are going to hear this, and I guess when I put it public, it becomes reality. I've been broadcasting with PPI for about 2.5 years now, which kind of blows my mind.
That's kind of
but I've invested in it.
Heavily.
I've invested money and time. I have learned a tremendous amount of things, and now I'm having fun with it. So I am prepared now in the next probably week and a half to launch my own YouTube channel.
Nice. And
I am going to be providing commentary and conversations.
I think it's going to be awesome. So what he's saying is, this is his blog. It's on the web. And it's on a different platform.
It's a vlog.
Yeah. So it's not,
and I'm not going to call it a vlog.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a dumb term.
some of the concepts in the book's great. Don't get me wrong, but some of the concepts in the book, as it should be, technology and stuff changes greatly between the time that this was written in now, and so the writing that if I'm thinking about what he's just said in the book, the writing, the speaking, and the web, in my mind, kind of all come together a little bit. So not 100%, right?
Well, they do. So
yeah,
we have been speaking now for a year together.
I know.
That's weird. Over a year. Holy heck.
Yeah, that's weird.
Right? Look, I've got a question for you. It's going to be an interesting drive. That pertains to us driving to Tetonia together. Caravanning. That should be fun, actually. I'm looking forward to it. Laquita, I want to know, what's your favorite way to stay top of mind? I've presented 7 different ways, probably 8 if we think about it a little bit. You were just kind of leaning into some of these come together to feed into the YouTube environment or into a website. I am looking forward to sitting down and having some conversations and speaking to an audience that isn't tied to an organization. So I can talk about whatever I want, and it's specifically not just business. It's going to relate to stuff. I do a lot of reading. I read probably 2 novels a week, and I have a steady stream of brown bags being dropped off at my front steps by the library, thanks to my wife, who keeps me in books because she knows it keeps me sane. I love to read, and I love to have conversations with other people, and that happens in all manner of environments. I was having lunch with yesterday, just a one-on-one. And this guy comes in and sits down next to us, and he's got the same chrome dome I do. I'm like, man, your hair's getting long. Right? I don't know this guy from Adam. And he sat down and he goes, yeah, I don't go to the barber to have my hair cut. I go to get more hair put on. Right? But that's just being conversational, and I love to be conversational in a lot of different environments. So I've primed this YouTube channel. You can go find me on YouTube. It's Bob Ryder. And there's not a lot of content there yet, but we're going to start recording next week.
Well, just when we started this, there wasn't a lot of content either. And, we pumped out quite a bit.
Well, so our YouTube channel now for PPI has 6 months worth of videos.
Nice.
Almost every week.
Nice.
That's a lot of videos.
Laquita.
A lot of really good content. She says, I struggle as an introvert, but I tend to reach out via Facebook Messenger or text messages. I'm not reaching out to clients because I have none. I'm going to stay in contact with you all. I am so glad to hear you say that. And I speak from that place of I'm managing clients. But you may be in that place that you don't have those clients yet, and you need to know how to get those clients. And it is the same. Oftentimes, so in a couple of my really prolific business-oriented Facebook groups for photographers in certain specialties, someone inevitably every week somebody says, I'm new to the game, how do I get business?
Yep.
And inevitably, somewhere along the line, somebody says, oh, do a bunch of free work.
Yeah.
And inevitably somebody says, don't do free work. The way that you acquire clients, if you're looking for clients, is these things. You talk to people. Facebook Messenger is an excellent resource for that. We just finished a job for a husband and wife team. They're both in marketing. They work in 2 different industries, but they're both in marketing, and they both work from home, and they both knew they needed a collection of headshots to market themselves, right? Because they're in marketing. We did the whole thing through Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to stay in touch with this guy, I'm not going to text him, and I'm not going to email him.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit him through Facebook Messenger because that's how he wants to communicate.
It's preferred method of communication.
It really
right?
is. We've talked a lot about that.
And so, Laquita, the advice, I need to do great work. I've seen your work. It's awesome. But the only thing I can tell you is you need to have that work. If you want clients and you're looking for clients.
If you're looking for clients.
You need to have that work someplace so they can get to it. So, because believe me, if you're, whatever you're doing, let's just say you're selling landscapes or whatever, it doesn't matter. You need to have some samples out there for them to look at because they'll go look. Doesn't mean you have to have shoot proof and pay $200 a year and do a lot of stuff.
Shoot proof is free up to 100 images.
Oh, there you go. So it's a free deal.
Free. Shoot proof is free.
And all you got to do is say, go out here and check this out. You know, what do you think of this? Might not that. And art is subjective. The second thing to tag on to this is art is subjective. Why do you think we have judges, right? I mean, and the judges are subjective.
And why do you think everybody says, man, that's a fantastic image?
Yeah, 79.
And it bombs.
Yeah, 79.
It bombs at competition,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, Michael Collins, for example, had a marvelous picture of a cat drinking water, I think it was.
And not like a house cat.
No, it was like a cheetah or something when he was in Africa.
Yeah.
God, it's just like, whoa, this is a great shot.
Taken at night, so it's really contrasting.
And it didn't even merit. So
at IPC.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I, you know, my image at PPI last year was brilliant, and of course it got a 79. So no, I'm just kidding. But don't wear your heart out of your sleeve on that. That's what I'm trying to get at. There are different people just render your stuff differently. That's all the way it is, and you just if they don't like it, great, move on. So that's it.
All right, so Laquita, I have a question for you.
I can't possibly move on from my 79, but I'm working on it.
You mention it often.
A lot.
I have a question for Laquita.
Okay.
What do you think of this new camera angle? Pow. We call it a punch in.
That's right.
I want to know if you like it or not. Or if I'm overusing it, I need to know because I just think it's cool. Punch in, punch out. Something new. Something new I did this week.
Yeah.
I have, today I'm going over to a venue in Boise, setting up a live stream for Sammy Alvey's wedding tomorrow. So I am live streaming her wedding. Her and Kevin are getting married over there in Boise, and it's going to be a really neat wedding. They've just done some really interesting things that I haven't seen before, and so that's where I'm going to go this afternoon. I'll be spending time with Jen and her family, and I'm looking forward to that. I want to give a shout out to Katrina.
Katrina Hoffman
is struggling out there with
pneumonia. Yeah.
And we love you, sister, and we're just rooting for you, praying for you, and just wish you the best for your recovery.
Well.
Get well.
Yeah.
Right. Get well quick, because we just missed the heck out of you. And gosh, man, I don't have a lot more. ppofidaho.com. Join us if
Listen,
you want to become a member.
So we're talking about
Yes,
networking, and we're talking about all this stuff, and everybody says, well, why are you a member of PPI? Well, I can tell you why. It's because of the networking opportunities. I think we've mentioned this a lot, and of course, we have a network. There's three of us on our little tiny network that we run past stuff past each other all the time, and it doesn't matter night, day, whatever.
Does he call you as often as he calls me?
Probably
2 or 3 times a week we're talking on the phone.
I think maybe once a week.
Okay. Yeah. I love it.
So it's all good, but what do we get out of PPI? We get the stuff that we're just talking about here. We're talking about networking. We're talking about other people's issues. Sky Facet in Twin Falls might have issues with, I don't know if she does or not. I'm making this stuff up. I'm not trying to get you in trouble,
Maybe
Sky.
You shouldn't pick Sky. I don't know.
But I'm just saying she might have I tried this.
I'm going to zoom in on you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Lay it down.
I tried this and it doesn't work. Well, and then maybe Bob, because I'm not going to do it, but maybe I just hit my mic. Maybe Bob will say, "Hey, Sky, that was awesome, but throw this in next time."
So and
it could be something simple, but
I'll tell you, I had a photographer here for an hour last night. He's been a guest on our show before, Derek Pollard. He's in commercial real estate, and he's actually a commercial real estate broker, and jumped out into his own business this year, but he's also doing real estate photography, mostly on his own listings and some listings for some peers. And he called me up last week, or earlier this week, and he says, "Hey, have you ever shot from the top of a pole or anything?"
Yeah, I know where you're going with this.
Yeah. I use a camera mast, and you have to remote control the camera.
So let me introduce you to professional photography. You don't call them poles, you call them camera masts.
Which is actually just a light stand.
It
sounds
pole.
way cooler than a camera mast, right? He's got a job. He's got to photograph a 3-story building. You don't do that from the ground, folks.
Yeah.
Okay? And you don't fly a drone because you don't need to be above the damn thing.
Yeah.
You need to be about middle of that, which is 2nd-story height. So getting to that 12 to 15-foot level is about right. So he came over last night. I set him up with a camera mast. I set him up with a tablet. I set him up with a Cam Ranger. We went out and photographed my house up in the air. Not the house, but the camera. And my neighbor's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Taking pictures of my house." I can't tell her well, I'm showing Derek how to do this, this thing that we do. "Well, we're just taking some pictures of my house." She's like, "Oh, have fun with that." He walked in the garage door. I handed him a beer. We had a couple of beers. We photographed my house. I showed him how to do this. He sent me pictures about an hour later of him photographing his house with my stuff. But this is the essence of being with other professionals, being part of something that's bigger than you. We were talking just before we began, and then, we're speaking to the quiet here, right? She does say, "I would love advice on what images should be on shoot proof. I need a lot of help on everything." You know what? You're in the right place, LaQuita. We just love having you here, and I love the questions she asks. I love that you're faithful to being on board with us every Friday when we're doing our lives. And by the way, next week we're going to be doing our live from Teutonia.
Assuming internet connection is good.
Assuming I have a cell connection, I can broadcast. LTE would be fantastic. I don't know. And
I'm bringing my puck, so in case the phone, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll have a couple of different venues. So yeah.
Yeah, super cool. So then, I was going to make a point, and it left because I was talking about the live out there.
Well, we're talking about PPI on the web and joining us, and why join us. And
$10 a month.
Yeah, easy,
$100 a year.
Easy peasy. $100 if you pay for a year, $10 a month with a 12-month commitment.
I was going to say that right before this, you had said somebody asked you, "Well, what do I get with my paid membership?"
Right.
And that's where I said, we're preaching the quiet here. The first thing I said to you was the person who asked that question doesn't understand the value of belonging to something bigger than themselves. But that, in essence, belonging to something bigger than myself, I don't benefit from having my peers affirm the things I do.
Right.
"Geez, Larry, you're such a good photographer. Your camera is really big. It must take great pictures." Screw that.
Why,
I appreciate the affirmations of my peers, but they're not moving my needle. They're not advancing my game. They're not moving me along right?
Yeah.
In my profession. But when I come into this circle of peers and I can share with Larry and Gordon at 10 or 11 o'clock at night that I did something that I'm really excited about, what can you tell me about this? How can I improve this?
Yeah.
I'm talking to other professionals, and I'm not like, hey guys, give me a like, because likes don't count for crap.
99.9% of the stuff that we share is, how did I do on this, and what can I do to improve it?
Yeah, what can I fix on this?
And it's not, and that's because we're all trying to work toward being masters of our craft, and not because I like Bob and Bob likes me, and I putting this out to the client saying, well, Bob likes it. So, because the client doesn't give a rip if Bob likes it or not.
I send you guys all of my composites.
And we tear them apart.
Dude, that hand.
Yeah,
I actually re-photographed that woman.
And thank you, because that hand was
so bad.
It was bad. So
falls under the what was I thinking category, right?
So Laquita says record all the classes. So I watch them after I would pay for that. I'm going to throw out a little nugget here. I promised myself I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. There is a free, for those of you at home that have the time to watch, there is a free session on shooting seniors. Dan Favalt.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's called Seniors Unlocked, and he's throwing it out there for free.
That's fantastic.
And it starts on the 27th. If you go to Facebook and you search Dan Favalt, I'm pretty sure you're going to hit the free thing. It's called Seniors Unlocked. All you have to do is register and be there when the class is. Now, if you want to watch them later, this is kind of how this is kind of
later access, right?
It's a later access, but that's the kind of stuff to Laquita and everybody else out there that wants to know about, well, I don't know how to do seniors, so this is what I got. You need to be in some of those groups. We're talking about joining the groups of like-minded individuals. Sam, for example, on 7FP. You got to be in those groups to get what he's pushing to you. I wouldn't know about Seniors Unlocked unless I follow Michael Mowbray.
Yeah.
And so
you're wearing his shirt today. I noticed that when you got out of the truck.
I'm wearing a shirt in honor of. He's actually one of the sponsors for the Seniors Unlocked. So
that's awesome.
I'm throwing out a shout out to him too.
That's awesome.
But if I didn't follow him, I don't follow Dan, but I do follow Michael. Michael's a sponsor. See how this works? So, ta-da!
Ta-da! Here we are talking about it.
So anyway, ppofi.com. Hit that join us button. $9.90.
PP of Idaho.
Right. PP of Idaho. Did I say that?
Not quite.
Okay, PP of Idaho.
.com.
$9.99 a month for a 12-month commitment, or $100 a year. And here's a caveat: you want to go to our retreat, and you want to, if you're a new member only.
Oh, this is a big one.
You can get the membership for $50. So you could pay for the retreat, tack on $50. You got a year's worth of membership for $50.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, good deal.
All right, man. I don't have anything else.
Either.
I want you to stay in the game.
Yeah.
That's a good out right there.
Yeah, we both do. Yeah.
All right.
Cheers, everybody.
See you next week.
Bye.